Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Data Playbook. We have our Week 11 Sunday games to go through now, so we're going to go through those one by one. So let's get into it. Next up, we have Chicago going to Minnesota, where Minnesota's favored on the money line with a spread of 3 points and a total line of 48.5. And then moving over to the averages to compare to the rankings. Then starting with Chicago, we have a scoring rank of 7, allowed scoring rank of 28, so those are pretty polar opposites. Passing rank of 13, rushing rank of 2, so not bad offensively across the board, other than their tight end rank. But defensively, they have pretty poor numbers, about bottom third instead, with 28, 24 for passing, 25 for stopping the rush. So not as great defensively. With Minnesota, you have about a bottom third team offensively with a scoring rank of 21, passing rank of 20, rushing rank of 24, and the worst team in the league at utilizing their tight ends. Defensively, they're a little better with an allowed scoring rank of 18, allowed passing rank of 11, so about average in there, but still bottom third for allowed rushing rank, allowed tight end rank. And then, as usual, starting off with our quarterbacks, you have Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy, with Williams averaging 20.2 fantasy points per game and McCarthy averaging 14.7. Williams has 4 interceptions this season, with no other turnovers, and JJ McCarthy has 6 interceptions this season, with 1 fumble loss due to a sack. There's their averages for the season, and then we'll look at their carry share, with Caleb Williams getting about 19.3% of the team's total carries, which equates to about 19.9% of the team's total rushing yard share. For JJ McCarthy, unfortunately, is cut off again, being at the top here, but I think we can say it's about that 15 to 17% range, maybe 15% of the rushing carry share and about 17% of the rushing yard share. But we can look at this next with the running backs to confirm. So moving right into those running backs, you have DeAndre Swift and Aaron Jones, with Swift averaging 15.8 fantasy points per game and Jones averaging 10.1. Our only turnovers come from DeAndre Swift with 1 rushing fumble. So other than that, we'll move over to our averages. And then we'll look at their carry share, with DeAndre Swift getting about 45.5% of the team's total carry share, which equates to about 44% of the team's total rushing yard share. Here we can see that the backup Kyle here gets about 30.2% of the team's total carry share and 31.6% of the team's rushing yard share, so he still gets about a third for being the backup. With Aaron Jones, since he's been out and they've kind of got him built up slowly here, his rushing carry share is at 18.8% of the team's total rushing carry share, and his rushing yard share equates that at 21.5% of the team's total rushing yard share. But that's because we had Jordan Mason here filling in for quite a bit of time, so he still has about 50% of the team's total rushing yards and carry share for the whole season. Next up, we move into receiving with our number 1 receivers, which are Rome Oduns and Justin Jefferson. Oduns gets about 14.3 fantasy points per game, and Justin Jefferson pretty close with 14.7. With no turnovers between the 2 receivers, we'll go straight to our averages. And then looking at their target and receiving share, you have Rome Oduns with 24.3% of the team's target share. That equates to about 25.8% of the team's total receiving share. And with Justin Jefferson, you have about 31.9% of the team's total target share, equating to about 36% of the team's total receiving yard share. And for both these players, they are the number 1 receiver, getting the largest share of both targets and receiving for anybody else on their team. Now for our number 2 receivers, you have DJ Moore and Jordan Addison, with DJ Moore averaging 10.2 fantasy points per game and Addison averaging 13.1. Once again, no turnovers between the two, so we'll go straight to the averages. And then looking at the shares again, you have DJ Moore with 16.9% of the team's total target share, equating to 18.6% of the team's receiving yard share, and Jordan Addison with 17.1% of the team's total target share and 20.6% of the team's total receiving yard share. And then, as always, wrapping up the tight ends, you have Cole Kmet and TJ Hawkinson, where Cole Kmet averages just under 4 fantasy points per game, and TJ Hawkinson is about 7.5 fantasy points per game. Once again, there are no turnovers for these tight ends, so we'll go straight to the averages. With Cole Kmet, he gets about 8.1% of the team's total target share and about 6.8% of the team's total receiving yard share. TJ Hawkinson gets about 15.5% of the team's total target share, and that comes out to be about 12.6% of the team's total receiving yard share, which means he's a little less efficient per target than some of the other players. So there you have it with your numbers. I think that even though Chicago is not favored to win, they do look a little bit more favorable number-wise to me, with a rushing rank of 2 against an allowed rushing rank of 23. You have a pretty bad rushing Minnesota against a pretty bad defense here, and a not so great passing game against a not so good defensive passive game from Chicago, but they are okay at passing against an okay team at stopping from the pass. So we'll really see how this kind of funnels out, but the numbers do just favor Chicago, especially with this scoring rank of 7, and this allowed scoring rank of 18, this allowed scoring rank of 28, but this scoring rank of 21 still kind of favors the Bears. So my prediction actually would be that the numbers favor the Bears a little bit here, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. And there's your numbers for that game. I hope that you found it useful, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe, and otherwise comment on what else you want to see in the future. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next matchup.